A very warm welcome from Germany to the future of mobility in London. Together with industry expert Paulius McKellar from the London Councils, our group has focused on developing innovative ideas for mobility in London. We will be guiding you through our project with our own voices on the slides so that you can hear everyone. Let's get started, and we hope you will enjoy it. To begin with, let me give you a short introduction to the context of mobility in London. London is one of the most congested cities in the world. The effects of that especially felt within central London. It is expected that the population will rise to 11.5 million by 2050. This means that by 2050 the number of trips will increase by up to 40% of what it is now. And even though the environment and a healthy lifestyle are gaining more and more interest in the general public, only a fraction of these trips are made through cycling. By comparison, there are 14 million car and bus trips in London every day, yet only 500,000 cycle trips. What we know though is, if all Londoners walked or cycled for 20 minutes a day, this would save £1.7 billion in NHS treatment costs over 25 years. Now, let me walk you through the main challenges for mobility in London. During our first meeting with our expert Paulius, we identified 4 main challenges. First of all, the population in London is not only growing, but also aging. The latter leading to even more congestion in London streets, as elderly people prefer to take the car, tube, or bus rather than a bicycle. Secondly, pollution in London streets, but also in tube stations, reaches levels that are, strictly spoken, illegal. Yet, the majority of citizens refuse to travel by bike or walk, which aggravates health issues due to the lack of exercise. Thirdly, the goal is to provide equal opportunities to everybody within their way of traveling around the city. This also relates to challenge number 4. London transport still has accessibility issues for the physically but also socially disadvantaged. Finally, a rather new challenge has been added to the mobility agenda. How can the spread of COVID-19 be prevented, and how can we move around safely? The analysis of the industry context in combination with the challenges just outlined encouraged us to have a closer look at cycling in London. We found that while 80% of Londoners know how to ride a bike, more than half of those don't cycle due to traffic and safety concerns. Out of the regular bikers, only roughly half said that they are indeed finding their bike journeys enjoyable, even though half of London's working population would reach their workplace by cycling more quickly as opposed to using traditional ways of transport. So how is it that London has a big potential for cycling, but bicycles are rarely used in its inner boundaries? We developed a value chain to have a closer look at the problems. 3 categories outline the greater problems. First, behaviors and attitudes. They split into ability and willingness, which have been touched upon, but also into access and affordability, like the problems of finding a rental bike within walking distance or the money people are willing to pay for a bike. Secondly, infrastructure plays a huge role. London offers only few cycling tracks, and the heavy traffic and congestion on the city streets put cyclists into dangerous and intimidating conditions. This leads to the third point, safety and theft. Most Londoners were truly concerned about their safety while riding a bike, for various reasons, starting from noise and health concerns to collisions, the volume of traffic, and many others. I will now hand over to Vicky in Switzerland, who will narrow down our scope.
Thank you, Leslie. So for our project, we wanted to tackle a part of the value chain where we felt that we could achieve both, make an impact, introduce a new product, application, or service, as well as find a solution that can be implemented relatively cost and time efficiently. Taking into consideration also the information gathered in the ideation stage of the innovation funnel, which will be further discussed later on, we therefore decided to focus our project around the safety aspects in the cycling value chain to help avoid injuries, accidents, and promote the use of bicycles. Throughout this project, safe cycling will be a key concept. Therefore, we would like to offer the following definition. Safe cycling, to us, is the optimized use of the different route alternatives offered throughout the city when using the bicycle as a means of transportation. The use of road traffic safety practices reduces the risk and danger for cyclists when moving around the city. Now, after making our decision regarding the scope of this project, it was important for us to gain a deeper understanding of the persona we would be focusing on, which you can see illustrated right here. In order to do so, we conceptualized and summarized the cycling-related safety needs, frustrations, and motivations based on information we had gathered from intermediaries such as Facebook groups, Reddit threads, or comments under newspaper articles discussing cycling-related issues in London. So at this stage, I would quickly like to circle back to the main mobility challenges outlined by Leslie earlier to see how tackling safety concerns for cycling in London fits into the overall big picture. As you can see here, our focus on cycling safety will tackle Challenge 1 by reducing congestion, Challenge 2 by motivating Londoners to use bicycles, Challenge 4 by freeing up space in public transport for those unable to cycle, and Challenge 5 by promoting cycling as a safe and healthy way of transport during the COVID-19 pandemic. To summarize, we started with the problem that even though 80% of the population could potentially ride a bike, 62% of Londoners feel unsafe when using a bicycle in the city, therefore resulting in only 500,000 bike rides. To guide us on this journey, we then developed an opportunity statement. We wanted to create a solution that alleviates existing cycling-related safety concerns to promote the use of bikes as a mode of transportation. To complete the project within the time and resource limitations, and taking into consideration the accumulation of transportation issues exhibited predominantly in central London, the use case will in a first step focus on existing commuters in central London. I will now hand over to Valentina in London, who will discuss our methodology.
Thanks, Vicky. For the selection of the open innovation tools to be used in the innovation funnel, we compared the different tools according to their advantages and disadvantages in order to choose the most suitable ones to solve the specific problem we were addressing. For the pre-ideation stage, we wanted to study the perception of the citizens of London about the safety of cycling in the city in a quick and cheap way. Considering that online communities are easily accessible at a very low cost and can give good indications of real-life concerns, we selected intermediaries to address this stage. For the later stages, we decided on crowdsourcing as the right tool for the ideation and selection, as it allows us to consult a large, diverse crowd for the analysis of and innovation for the safety problem in London. Additionally, a wise crowd allows for superior ideas in terms of creativity and actual usefulness than those obtained from experts. This is the composition of our innovation funnel, which consists of 4 stages. As described just now, the first 3 stages were done with the support of open innovation tools, while the last stage was completed through internal discussions with the team and experts. Vicky already mentioned the process during the pre-ideation stage, so now we will outline how the crowdsourcing process was implemented for the ideation phase. We conducted an online survey through Qualtrics, which was sent to over 100 people and published on various portals such as Facebook, LinkedIn, and Reddit. The survey aimed to solicit innovative ideas to solve the safety problem that currently exists in London. Respondents were asked to propose ideas for products, technologies, and services without putting limits on their imagination. That's what the ideation process is all about. 85 people responded to our what-if questions, and the ideas received were classified into 6 categories: mobile apps, accessorize, education, infrastructure, sensors, and self-driving bicycles. We received many interesting and innovative ideas, such as vibrating bracelets and gloves, special alarms, audio guides, and more. But we also got crazy ideas, like teletransportation? Really? Finally, of the more than 200 ideas we received, we eliminated those that were outside the scope of the project or that were not viable to implement, and consolidated 5 main ideas. First, an application that tells you the safest route to get to your destination by bike. Second, a reward system that rewards cyclists for contributing with actions that promote cycling safety. Third, semi-autonomous bicycles with an intelligent system that allows you to avoid accidents through alerts and emergency actions. 4. Smart bikes with indicators and sensors that detect nearby objects and triggers warning vibrations to a smart bracelet. And finally, a smart helmet that ensures the safety of the trip through alerts based on the information of the cyclist's environment in real time. For the selection phase, we also use crowdsourcing with the aim of asking the audience to follow up on their completion of the survey by voting for their favorite ideas. For this stage, a survey was also carried out via Qualtrics that asked respondents to vote for their favorite option out of the 5 previously selected. The solutions were presented graphically to show more clearly what each one was about. We received more than 186 responses. The most popular solution, with more than 37% of the votes, was the mobile app that indicates the safest route to travel by bicycle, followed by the smart bike with more than 25% of the votes, and the smart helmet with more than 17% of them. I will now hand over to Guillermo to explain the retention stage.
Thanks, Vale. For the retention stage, we reconvened with and took advice from Paulius, our expert, in order to choose the final solution to work with. Through a time and cost analysis, we mapped the 5 solutions in order to identify the viability of each one of them. Based on this, we found that the ideas of semi-autonomous bikes and smart bikes require a high level of investment and time in execution. Furthermore, Paulus warned us they run the risk of being easily stolen. The idea of the smart helmet is interesting, but requires a high level of development and time. Given the above, we decided together with Paulus on a recombinatorial solution which combined the safest route application chosen by the crowd with the reward system favored by Paulus in a single application. From this, Cycly was born, an application that designs the most efficient, safe cycle routes in real time and based on the preferences of its users, allowing them to connect with the community and receive their alerts as well. In addition, it rewards you with points for contributing to road safety through conscious cycling behavior. Once users enter Cycly, they search through our map for the destination they want to reach. They select it and the application shows them different route options ordered according to the priorities and preferences that users give us when they log in. Once the user is traveling, Cycly updates the route based on real-time traffic information. When users are already on the selected route and detect problems on it, Cycly offers them the option to report accidents, road problems, and much more. This information is automatically shared to all Cycly users and updated on the map. In addition, you can chat with different cyclists that are traveling along with our app. A 4-stage reward system called Cycly Points is developed in the app, which characterizes its main differentiation against other applications. In the first stage, each cyclist who uses the application will immediately receive a limited number of starter points. In the second stage, the app is going to reward the concept of safe cycling in 2 ways. Firstly, by giving points for cyclists who use the suggested route. Secondly, the system will reward users who maintain appropriate behavior while transiting and share real-time proper information with the community. In the third stage, bikers can exchange their points for public transport discounts or products, or services offered by private firms. Finally, users can manage the reward system in a friendly way. I will now hand over to Francisco in Chile to explain the business model.
Thanks, Guille. Now, with respect to the business model, the value proposition outlined here is a mobile app that shows in the real time the safest, most suitable route to get to your requested destination, and that rewards users for safe cycling behavior. The business model has three types of participants. The core users are commuters and deliverers who will be able to use the app for free. The owner of the platform is TfL, who manage the interaction between the core participants and the third parties. To monetize this solution, the business model offers three options. First, resources are generated by the sale of a premium service for third parties, which includes tracking of their delivery people, for example. The second source of income is by selling ads to road-related firms. Finally, public sector institutions will provide resources to promote safe cycling in London through cycling. The business model outcome is summarized in this ERRC analysis, where the main challenges mentioned during the first slides are addressed. Research costs to find the safest routes are eliminated. Fear, insecurity, and the number of deaths and accidents is reduced. Recommendations based on the real-time community information are raised. Finally, incentives for cycling are created and a healthy way of commuting and traveling is encouraged. The technical requirements are quite simple and do not require complex developments. 5 user profiles are needed to be developed in order to fit with all participants. Additionally, 7 main functions outlined on the upper right-hand side are needed to run the system. Regarding to the application's architecture, a 4-layered platform is suggested for collecting, processing, and storing the information to feed the algorithm. I will now hand back over to Vicky in Switzerland for some last comments.
We have now reached the end of our presentation and hope you have enjoyed the overview of our project. We all believe that this solution will not only help combat the mobility challenges we are confronted with today, but offer a new, exciting, and safe experience to people who are curious about cycling as a mode of transportation. Personal safety, when commuting, in central London especially, is one of the issues that we can all identify with, and we hope that Cycly can alleviate concerns and frustrations commuters in London are experiencing today. Our aim with this project was not only to collaborate with London councils to come up with a creative and innovative solution, but also to experience firsthand what it means to engage in open innovation. Whilst this journey was not always smooth sailing, we truly learned a lot and can wholeheartedly agree that the final solution is more creative and, most importantly, more useful in terms of real-life needs, especially in these unprecedented times, than we would have imagined it to be without the use of open innovation tools. At this stage, we would like to thank Nadia and Anthea for their support throughout the lectures as well as the theoretical and practical stages of this project. A huge thanks to our industry expert, Paulius McCullough, who took time out of his busy schedule to support us, provide us with additional insights and helpful feedback throughout. And finally, also a big thank you to Aidos, who immersed us in and introduced us to the practicalities of open innovation. We all hope that our presentation has for now encouraged you to consider cycling for your commute and hope that you will all become avid users of Cycly once it is developed. So let's all get out of our cars and start pedaling. Thank you for listening. We hope you all stay safe and healthy, and best wishes from our mobility team from Germany, Chile, London, and Switzerland.